Lesson 2, Seeing Well. Vocabulary for seeing well. Most of what you do in driving is a reaction to what you see. To be a good driver, you need to see well. Seeing well means looking ahead, taking in the whole scene, looking to the sides, intersections, pedestrians, crosswalks, railroad crossings, observing to the rear, changing lanes, keeping your car where it can be seen, checking the speedometer, backing, having clean windows and mirrors, adjusting your seat belts, and mirrors, seeing well at night, wearing corrective lenses, looking ahead. Drivers need to look far enough ahead to see things early. By doing so, they avoid last-second moves. Focus your eyes at least 10 to 15 seconds ahead of you. To determine how far a 10-second interval for a certain speed is, please see page 13 of the Kentucky Driver's Manual for details. Taking in the whole scene. Looking ahead does not mean looking at the middle of the road. It means taking in the entire scene, the sides of the road as well. It's called scanning. Scanning of the road helps you see vehicles and people that may be in the road by the time you reach them. Signs warning of conditions ahead. Signs giving you information about places ahead and how to reach them. Being alert and always looking far ahead reduces your chances of having a collision and increases the time you will have for decision-making and reactions. Looking to the sides. When you come to a place where others may cross or enter your path, look to the sides to make sure it's safe to proceed. These places include intersections, crosswalks, railroad crossings, parking lots, school areas, etc. Intersections. When you approach an intersection, follow these rules. Look both ways. Look to the left first, since traffic coming from the left is closer to you. Then look to the right. Take one more look to the left before you pull out, just in case there's something you did not see the first time. Do not rely on traffic signals. Look both ways even if other traffic has a stop sign or a red light. Someone may disobey either one. Make sure you have a good view. If your view of a cross street is blocked by a building or a row of parked vehicles, edge forward slowly until you can see. If traffic in one lane is blocking your view of another lane, wait until it clears. If you try to look by placing the front of your vehicle into the other lane, you may get hit. Pedestrian crosswalks. Most crosswalks are located at intersections. Watch for people who are about to cross the street you are turning into. Remember, if you have a green light, the light is also green for them. Usually, pedestrian crosswalks are marked with the following warning signs. Pedestrian crossing. School crossing. When traffic control signals are not in place or in operation, the operator of a vehicle shall yield the right-of-way, slowing down or stopping to a pedestrian crossing the roadway upon which the vehicle is traveling, or when the pedestrian is approaching so closely from the opposite half of the roadway as to be in danger. Drivers shall yield the right-of-way, slowing down or stopping for pedestrians crossing the roadway upon which the vehicle is traveling. The law requires drivers to yield to pedestrians in the crosswalk. Every pedestrian crossing a roadway at a point other than within a marked crosswalk or within an unmarked crosswalk at an intersection shall yield the right-of-way to all vehicles upon the roadway. Railroad crossings. The law requires drivers to approach a railroad crossing with caution. The round yellow sign with the black RR and/or RR painted on the pavement are advanced warning signs indicating the road crosses railroad tracks ahead. The X sign at the crossing means drivers must yield to oncoming trains. The X sign at the crossing means drivers must yield to oncoming trains. At crossings marked with automatic flasher units or automatic crossing gates, drivers must stop if the lights are flashing or the gates are lowered and remain stopped until the lights stop flashing and the gates are raised. At crossings with a standard stop sign, drivers must stop and proceed only when they determine no train is approaching. Look both ways as you approach a railroad crossing. You must yield the right-of-way to the train or stop if the lights are flashing or the gate is lowered. It is your responsibility to determine if it is safe to cross the tracks even if the lights are not flashing. The signals may not be working. Railroad crossings. If you do get boxed in or stalled on a crossing, abandon your car immediately and run away from the track in the direction the train is coming in order to avoid being hit by flying debris. Once you are at a safe distance, call the 800 number posted on or near the X sign or call 911 to alert the dispatcher of your stalled vehicle. Do not attempt to restart your vehicle until the dispatcher indicates it is safe and no trains are approaching. School buses and tank trucks carrying flammable liquids must stop at railroad crossings. Get prepared to stop if you're driving behind them. Expect a train when approaching any railroad track. Crossing a track after the warning lights are flashing or the crossing gates are down is against the law and you could be cited. For more details, pages 14 and 15 of the Kentucky Driver's Manual. Observing to the rear. Check traffic behind you several times a minute. It will help you gain a complete picture of the traffic situation and to maintain a safe distance behind your vehicle. If someone is following you too closely or coming up behind you too fast, you will have time to react. Changing lanes. Before you change lanes, number 1, look in your rear view and side view mirrors and make sure that no one is preparing to pass you. Before you change lanes, avant que vous changiez de voie. Number 2, give a proper turn signal showing your intentions. Before you change lanes, avant que vous changiez de voie. Number 3, glance over your shoulder to check for traffic near the left or right rear corners of your vehicle, blind spots. Number 4, avoid slowing down suddenly. If you are forced to slow quickly, check behind you to see if other drivers are following close to you. By doing this, you may prevent a rear-end collision. Keeping your car where it can be seen. Keep your vehicle where other drivers can see it. You cannot always be sure other drivers will see you, but you can avoid putting your vehicle where they cannot see it. One common mistake is driving in another driver's blind spot. Avoid driving on either side slightly to the rear of another vehicle. Either speed up or drop back, but do not remain in another driver's blind spot. When passing another vehicle, pass through the other driver's blind spot as quickly as you can. The longer you stay there, the longer you're in danger. Checking the speedometer. Glance at the speedometer about once a minute to ensure you are driving at a safe and legal speed. Backing up. Backing up requires extra caution because it is difficult to see behind your vehicle. When backing up, follow these rules. Check behind your vehicle before you get in. Children or small objects are difficult to see from the driver's seat. Back up slowly. Your vehicle is more difficult to control when you are backing up. Continue looking back until you come to a complete stop. When backing up straight to the rear or to the right, look over your right shoulder directly through the rear window. Do not depend on your mirrors. When backing up to your left, look over your left shoulder. Do not depend on your mirrors. Back slowly and continue looking back until you come to a complete stop. Avoid backing up into traffic or, if possible, use a person outside to help you. If you have passed your exit on an interstate or freeway, never back up or try to turn around. Go on to the next exit to turn off. Having clean windows and mirrors. Keep the windshield clean because bright sun or headlights on a dirty windshield decreases vision. Remove snow, ice, or frost from all windows before you start to drive. Do not hang anything from your rearview mirror or clutter up the windshield or rear window with decals. Besides blocking vision, they are a violation of the law. Adjusting your seat belts, and mirrors. Adjust your seat belt, rear view mirror, and side mirrors before you start to drive. Adjust your seat so that you can see the pavement 12 to 15 feet in front of the vehicle. Your chest should be located 10 to 12 inches from the center of the steering column, and your shoulders should be no lower than the top of the steering wheel. Please note, 1 foot equals to 30.48 centimeters. An inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. Seeing well at night. Use high beams whenever there are no oncoming vehicles, except when fog or other inclement weather would make low beams more appropriate. Dim your lights whenever you come within 500 feet of an oncoming vehicle and when you are following another vehicle within 200 feet. Slow down and use low beams in fog, snow, or heavy rain. The light from high beams will reflect back and cause glare during these conditions. If the lights of an oncoming vehicle remain on high beam, dim your lights and look toward the right side of the road. This will keep you from being blinded by the oncoming vehicle's headlights. Do not try to get back at the other driver by keeping your bright lights on. If you do, both of you may be blinded. Wearing corrective lenses. If you are restricted to wearing corrective lenses, always wear your corrective lenses when you drive. If you are not wearing them and you happen to be stopped by a police officer, you may be issued a citation.